Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. I went ahead and put a message in the chat just so you could see that. You are all muted. That's on purpose because we have over 200 people coming to this meeting. And if we turn on our microphones, the feedback would be astronomical and it would be impossible for us to all be talking at the same time. I also want you to know you may have your cameras on if you like, or you may turn your camera off. The choice is yours. The meeting is being recorded. So if you do not want to be on camera, you do not have to. It's your choice. So you can turn off your video if you like. So it's not required. We're perfectly fine. I will have my video on because that would be really strange for you to be looking at a screen with a voice and no face. So I will have mine on, but you are certainly not required to have yours on, but you are more than welcome to do so. You can change the layout of your screen if you want to see a grid view of everyone. Obviously, your grid will never be big enough for over 200 people, but you can switch it to grid view, or it's called gallery view, sorry, in Zoom, if you want to do that, or you can scroll through and see who's here. Maybe some of your friends are here and you can, wave to them. You can also, we did allow you to chat individually to people because we trust that you will send appropriate messages to each other, so please be appropriate. So notice that when you go to chat, you can click on the two and do a pull down and you can send a message to someone individually, or you can send the chat to everyone. So just know that you have that choice. So just pay attention, because if you mean to send it to an individual person and you send it to everyone, we will all see it. I'm so grateful for you all being here so far. 21 people who are early for our meetings. Look at you. Good examples for your children. This is definitely the time to test your audio. So make sure that you are hearing me. It is also your chance to test your chat. If you would like to just do a test in the chat, make sure you know how to work it. You can do that. You can also mess with the buttons on the screen, just so you know you don't have the ability to share your screen, so you can't take over the screen, and you don't have the ability to unmute yourself, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. So you should be okay there. So don't want anyone to be worried about those things. You do have the ability to change the background of your video. You can see my background is the lovely beach scene, because I would love to be at this lovely beach right now. I am not there. No, I'm in my office in my house, but it's always nice to dream. So you do have the option of changing your background if you want to do that as well. And we will, just so you know, if you need to go get a drink of water or get yourself comfortable, in large meetings like this, I always wait until a few minutes after we've started, official start time, to actually physically get started with the meeting, because we like to give people a chance to log on. Some people struggle a little with the technology, so feel free to get up and get yourself something to drink or use the restroom or answer the phone or whatever you need to do. So don't feel like you're going to miss out on something if you need to run and do something. Okay, just so you know, for the questions that do get asked, I will be reading them out loud just in case anybody is calling in from their phone and cannot see the chat. One, the question that got asked already, I will absolutely answer right away. Is COVID-19 testing a requirement in order to open schools back? No, at this point, that is not a requirement. Right now, what they are using as a requirement is a threshold of basically what they call, flattening the curve and being on watch. And so right now, we happen to be in Orange County. We are on the watch list. And so we are above the threshold of what is considered safe. And so that's why we cannot be meeting in person and have to go to all distance learning. It may be that we can get out of that watch and then we could be able to meet in person. But as of right now, we are still on that watch list, and we are unfortunately quite a bit above the number. So we're a little ways away. We're hoping for a downward trend, and then we can talk about that. And I will talk about the time frame and how things will look. Our goal is not to stay on distance learning forever, just so you know that. That will be in the presentation, but that is definitely not our goal. Our goal is not to be a full distance learning school forever. And yes, will the meeting be posted? So other parents, yes, it is recording. And yes, we will post it and we will share it. And that is why we are recording the meeting, because we do want people who weren't able to join to be able to see this. And for those of you, part of the reason why we had you register is because we will send an actual copy of the recording to you. So that way you don't have to worry about taking notes. If you had something in particular, you could absolutely go back to the recording of the meeting and you can share it yourself. You can actually forward the recording to friends or family or things like that if you want to. So just so you know. Sorry, I got kicked out of there for a minute. Sorry about that. Guess my internet's giving me a bad time. Hopefully it does not keep doing that. Oh, let me see. Let me switch networks. Hopefully that does it. My internet connection is unstable. Not a good night to be unstable. We're up to 98 people in the meeting and it's 6:31, so we'll keep doing this for a few more minutes here. Oh, so more people turn off their video, it will lower the bandwidth. That is absolutely true. Thank you, Eric. You are absolutely correct on that. When I go into presentation mode, definitely we should do that because you don't need to see video when I go into presentation mode for sure. So because I'm gonna share my screen and show you some things. So thank you very much for Eric and Jelona for sharing that. So if you don't need your video on, you can turn your video off and you can still join in. You can hear everything. It will just say your name instead of showing your face, which is perfectly fine. And that will help. Thank you very much for sharing that, people. That was very nice. We're up to a little over 100 participants, 109. As they come in, I'm admitting away here. Okay. They should be able to admit themselves here in a minute. Yep. Okay. I'm switching it over to where people can I will be talking, I'm seeing about Chromebooks. I will be talking about how to get Chromebooks here, yes, in just a little bit. And thank you, Ms. Sasai. I will be introducing some of the people soon, and Ms. Sasai, I see, is here in this meeting. So thank you, Ms. Sasai, for joining us as a participant. And you'll see who Ms. Sasai is for those of you who are incoming and you don't know. I will be talking about a few people. So. Okay, it's now 6:35, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, which means I am going to share my screen here. So don't be surprised when my face goes away from the big part of your screen. So just give me a second to get things set up. All right. Oh, hang on. I lost my thing here. There we go. Okay. All right. So you should all see my cute little animation there. All right, so for those of you who have your cameras on, you should give me a thumbs up if you can see that on your screen. You can see the PowerPoint. Awesome, thank you those of you who shared that thing. That's very nice. Okay, so we want to welcome you to Walker for the 2020-21 school year. I did put up our cute little staff photo. Obviously, I can't tell you about all of our staff members because as you can see, we have quite a few, but I thought, oh, let's do some fun to start. But I want to share with you just a few people that you probably should know. I'm Jennifer Brown. I am the principal at Walker Junior High. I am so blessed to be at the school. My kids actually went to Walker. I was supposed to go to schools in the area and I didn't. Someday I'll tell you that story. But I grew up in Buena Park, so I am a local resident and now live in Cypress, and I lived in La Palma for a while. So I definitely know the area and it's the favorite place for me. So I'm super excited to be at Walker. We have two assistant principals. We have Miss Jennifer Sasai, who I pointed out is here in the meeting with us, and we have Dr. Jeremy Sell. They are your assistant principals. We have two counselors, Ms. Jamie Wynn and Mr. Hank Schwartz. So we have two counselors. We have our family and community engagement specialist, which is a lot to say, so we just call her our faces. Her name is Sylvia Van Wy, and I believe she's also on here in this meeting listening in and here to serve you. She is here for community support and is here for you as families. So if there is something that you need and your family needs support, she is that person for you. Also in this meeting is our amazing administrative assistant, Lilia Pelos Vergado. She is kind of the person behind the scenes. She is the person who really runs the school and does everything. Just no one really knows it. She is amazing. So she is here. She's the person who has literally been manning the phones all summer long while we have been distance learning. All of the calls get forwarded to her phone, and then she is responding to every single call. So it's really, she is the most amazing person. So we are all grateful for her. And then you should also know, you might have also spoken with Deborah Lopez, our registrar. So if you've been doing anything with registration, had any questions, you have talked to her. Our main office person, Carrie Martin, is usually the person that sits in the desk and greets you as you come in. Our attendance person is Margaret Patino. So if you have any questions on attendance, or your child is, when we do come back, going to be out sick, she is the person that you talk to. And then our health clerk is Carol Azell. So if you are dealing with immunizations or have questions, she is that person that you speak to there. So I just wanted to give you a couple of names of a few people that I thought you should be familiar with. So you obviously don't need to memorize everyone. I don't expect you to just remember everything, but I thought, no, I should share so you know. Okay, so let's move on here, and let's just do a quick plug for registration. You should be doing registration if you haven't done it. Hopefully you have completed phase 1 and phase 2 of registration. I have been sending out messages, and I gave you the long link for that. And so I want you to know that I created a shorter link here, just in case you want to just remember this. And it's a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/Walker Reg. So know that. I did get a couple questions about school lunches, and I'm going to address those really quick because it does have something to do with registration, because some of you are wondering about, should I put money on my child's books for lunch? Because even though we're distance learning, can they get lunch or breakfast? So let me just talk about lunch really quick. Distance learning or hybrid, or if we go back to school full-time, no hybrid, whatever situation comes up, we will still be serving food. Right now, with a distance learning schedule, we will be serving breakfast and lunch, but breakfast and lunch will be served at the same time, and I will be sharing that schedule so you'll see it. Every student can get lunch. It will be a drive-up, pick-up lunch and breakfast, just similar to what they've been doing all summer. Students who are on free and reduced lunch obviously get that lunch through that way. Students who are not on free and reduced lunch can absolutely still get lunch. They absolutely can. They prefer to do a cashless transaction, not use cash. And so that is where during registration, there is that link to school pay, and you can put money on your child's account, and then their ID number or ID card can be used for them to make purchases of school lunches. And so that is something that can be done every single day of the week, regardless of if it's a synchronous day, non-synchronous day, whatever it is, you have that option. So I want you to know. And anyone who had a balance for school on their card from last year, it does carry over to the next year. So if you still had money on your account from last year, it's still there this year, so they can use it this year. Absolutely. So I just wanted to address those quick things from lunch, because a few people had asked about lunches. So I thought I would share that really quick about that. We want to make sure our kids are fed no matter what. Kids get something to eat. So unfortunately, our cases in our county are really high for COVID. So as you all know, the governor said, no hybrid, no meeting on campus regularly. Sorry, Orange County, you have to do distance learning. So that is exactly where we are right now. Our school is opening with distance learning. School starts on August 12th. That is the first day of school, and that means it will all be online. Now, what does that schedule look like? So when you think of distance learning, this is what our schedule looks like. And as you'll see there, this schedule is for all schools in our district. So not just Walker, it is for every single school. We do not have a 0 period, so you can ignore the 0 period time. None of our kids at Walker will be starting at 7:30. Woohoo, no 0 period. No one has to get up at 7:30. Everyone gets to sleep in. So school starts at 8:20. And the way that works is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we will be what's called synchronous. What does synchronous mean? That means that we will meet together online at the same time. So your teacher and your student will be on the computer at the same time. That's what synchronous means. So that is live. Okay, so those meetings are live, and you can see it goes period by period. There's a time for them to be online with that teacher during that time. And so the classes are 35 minutes long, and then there's a break in between those classes for kids to get up, use the restroom, stretch, exercise, do that, and teachers to get up and stretch and exercise and do all of that in between. Just so you know, this schedule is already posted on our school website. So you can actually go to our school website. We already have a distance learning link there. You can click on the link and you can print this schedule out. So I did that already. I have mine, and it's already, oops, I just ripped mine. It's already posted on my thing behind me. Oh, you can't see it because of my green screen. Let's see, hold on, if I go back, forward, somewhere, well, I'm holding it. Oh, there you go. See, I printed mine out. And so you can absolutely go to our website and you can print one out and hang it up so you know your schedule. So it's there. I will also send it out electronically so everyone has an electronic copy, but I recommend having that one hanging up in your house like I have in mine, because, you know, I don't know about you, but it's helpful for me for kids. I would actually go in and then write in my classes on my schedule when I get my class schedule. So that's one of the things I would do. So I want you to know that. So that lunch period, it's a break in your house, but that is also when we will be serving those grab and go lunches. Okay, so kids on junior high have 7 periods per day. Okay, so periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the same for 7th graders, and it's the same for 8th graders. Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they have a set schedule. Tuesdays and Thursdays are, could we call, asynchronous, which means the students still have work to do, but they won't be meeting in a live instruction time with their teachers where they have this period, then this period, then this period. There will still be connection with the teachers. It might be through office hours, it might be through phone calls, and it might not be a teacher, it may be an instructional aide, it may be a mentor on campus, it may be a counselor, it may be an assistant principal, it may be me. It will be someone from the campus will be in touch with your child on Tuesday and Thursday, checking up on them, seeing how they're doing, offering support, making sure they can do their work. So they will have connection on Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, good question about the lunch, and I'll come back to that. But they can make their own schedule on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're a family who says, you know, I want you to be with me when you do some work, and I work during the day, so it's going to be really hard for us to do some of your homework or do this project. I want you to wait till I get home. You can say, wait till I get home. If your child, you want them to work with a tutor and you want to schedule a tutor, You can schedule a tutor on Tuesday and Thursday. That's perfectly fine. So you have those things. It might be that you schedule a private meeting with a teacher because they need extra support. And so it's a live meeting with that teacher that you have scheduled. So instead of being in the classroom, it's a virtual live meeting, but maybe they've scheduled that meeting with that teacher. So there's a lot of options on Tuesday and Thursday because those are more for support. When it comes to, do the students have to be in the car when you pick up the lunch? Not necessarily, but they will have to provide some proof of the student being at the school. So there will have to be some proof. So in the summer, we haven't asked for proof. We're just feeding anyone's children from any school. During the school year, you have to prove that your child actually goes to our school. So, and we'll be running those through the system. Okay. And I will be talking about schedules. And so just so you know, I will get to that. So we're going to talk a little bit about schedules. So I just want to make sure that I covered the questions people asked on there. Okay, so I'm just checking my online things. Okay, so what does live instruction and live interaction look like? Okay, so in our district, we use a learning management system called Schoology, and then we also use Google G Suite. Okay, so for you incoming 7th graders, you probably got a message from our district saying, hey, welcome, your child has this G Suite account, and you thought, what the heck is this? And it had their login information, and you're like, I have no idea what this is. And so don't delete that email. If you did, that's okay, we can get it resent to you. But hopefully you didn't delete it, because that is kind of your keys to the kingdom. That is your child's information for how they're going to log into Schoology and how they're going to log in to their Gmail and Google Drive. And then if we get to go back onto a campus, then that will be how they access computers on campus. And that's how they're going to log into computers. So usually what we do with our 7th graders is we usually print that information on a little label and we have them stick it in their agenda, so that way they have it, and when they first come in we have them learn all of that, and that way they have that information forever and ever. That information will not change from 7th grade through 12th grade. That will be their login for everything from then on. It will never ever change. Okay, so the way it's going to work is students will have email through a school Gmail. Now I want to let parents know Gmail through school is only accessible for school things. So for example, school Gmail it's going to be an email that says their student ID number at student.auhsd.us. Okay, that's what their format for their email will be. That email can only send messages to other school things and things like that, and can only receive messages from school institutions. So they can't get spam from some gaming club that they want to join. It won't work. They'll never get the message. So they can try to register for things with their school email, but then they'll never ever receive the verify message. It won't work. And so I will let you know it's never going to happen. So it's literally a locked in system. As a matter of fact, it's so locked in that when kids are juniors and seniors, we have them create a personal Gmail account or Yahoo or whatever email they want for when they apply for college, because their colleges can't send them messages on their school email. It's that locked in. And we don't want them missing college acceptance letters. So it's really important. So just so you know, it's that locked in. Okay. Within Schoology, so we're using Zoom for this conference. Within Schoology, there's a program called Big Blue Button. Big Blue Button is a video conferencing system. And that is the system that we will be using for video conferencing with our students. That's where the teachers will conduct their instruction with students. Okay, it's within Schoology. Now, why are we using Big Blue Button and not Google Meets and not Zoom? Why are we doing that? Because Big Blue Button has some very specific safety features built in, and it's connected to Schoology, which is connected to Google, which is connected to Aries. And the importance of that is a student can only access a conference in Schoology if they are actually enrolled in that course and the teacher has turned that conference on and made it accessible to the kids in that class. So a kid who's not enrolled in that period of that class cannot get in that conference. And so it was a learning curve in the spring, a huge learning curve. And I see Helena's put that out. We were having some problems with video access. Yes, we were having some problems in the spring. And one of the biggest problems was is teachers were learning how to use Big Blue Button. They are all being trained on that over the summer and the beginning of the school year. If they missed the summer training, they all are training on that, and they are actually having to be students, so they see how the students experience it, and then teachers, so they're learning how to use Big Blue Button, and they're actually being put themselves into breakout rooms within Big Blue Button, so that way kids can work in small groups together and do some discussion and sharing, and then come back and even present. So it's not going to be just like a situation like this where I'm talking at you. This is a terrible presentation, just so you know. This is not how I would expect teachers to present to kids. This is never, we would never say, let's put 200 kids in a room and have a teacher talk at them. This is exactly what I'm doing. I'm talking at you. This is not instructing. I'm just giving you information. It's terrible. This is not teaching, just so you know. This is not what you should expect from teachers. You'll notice it says instruction and interaction. The important thing that you'll see, and that will be different if you were a part of it in the spring, and if you're new, that you should be able to enjoy, is that our students will be interacting as part of this. Kids will not be teaching themselves. Parents will not be teaching them. One of the things we talked about a lot and that we are working on is that in the spring, it was kind of panic. Just get everything up there. And teachers were new to distance learning and new to online. And so what they did was they put up a lot of directions. And it was like, here's the directions, just do it. But there was no instruction and no interaction. So it was the what you need to do, but there was no how or why, and there was absolutely no instruction. So that's what you're going to see that's different, is that instead of just directions, there will actually be instruction as part of it. There will be projects that is part of it. There will be interaction that's part of it. And so it's going to be very, very different in that sense, which is really nice, because the learning curve of learning to use the software and learning to be online, we're getting past that, so now we can actually use it well. And I see the question, will students be trained on Schoology as well? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, that is one of the things at the end of this presentation I'm going to talk about. So hang in there, I'm going to talk about that for sure, because that is very, very, very important. I want to talk a little bit about student mental health support, because that is a big question a lot of people have, because they say, I hate online because kids don't feel connected. And so I want to share. We are still going to implement our Capturing Kids' Hearts, where kids are building social contracts and classroom rules and all of those things together. So that is really important. So our teachers are still going to be working on their first and foremost important thing is knowing students by name and need. That is still number one. They need to know each of their students. Now, I know one of the questions I got asked is, will the students be required to have their cameras on? And the answer actually is no. The answer is no. Students will not be required to have their camera on for everything. So I want you to know a little bit about the ins and outs of that. if a teacher is recording a classroom when they're teaching, they cannot have students cameras on. It's not legal. They're not legally able to record. Like, I'm recording this meeting, and you guys are on here because you registered and you agreed to that, and that's fine. And which is why I told you have the option of turning your cameras off. Students can't have their cameras on while they're able to while we're recording. So we have to have those cameras off. Now, can teachers and students see each other? Yes, they just can't be recording during that time. And so there is some give and take in there. So yes, there will be some live things with that, but not when they're recording. And so I definitely want you to know that because they will do that. Hold on, I'm reading a question. We're going to talk about grading, and you, if you already had a Schoology account, like you're an 8th grade parent, you can still log into Schoology now. But if you're a new 7th grade parent, not yet. You can't log into Schoology yet because they haven't created your parent account yet. So just so you know. And I'm going to talk about parent support for things, so hang in there just a moment on that. And then I'm reading, can you please describe how distance learning will be run in more details? What are the hours, Zoom live or self-study? How will kids be graded? We're going to talk about grading, bell, daily, weekly schedule. I did show the schedule, and we're going to talk about band programs and sports in another slide. So I'm actually going to talk in details about those. And so that's why I was talking about, it's not self-study. Remember, we're talking live instruction. I need to go back. Okay, go back. Okay, why? There we go. My keyboard wasn't reacting to me for a moment there. So I want to talk a little more. Mindfulness is something we are going to encourage. That's really important for kids. Check and connect mentorships. We're going to try to incorporate mentorships in for kids. Counselors will be doing lessons with kids, so that way they have that. They have the ability to do that. OC Human Relations is going to help us. We will still have our educational management team, which monitors students. Mrs. Sai will still be doing Kindness Club. There will be other activities and clubs. Schoology is an app, yes, but it's also a full program. So you can access the app and the full program. We recommend the full program for most schoolwork, but you can also use the app as well. Our social worker will also be working with students, and our school psychologist, just so you know that. We will also be doing parenting programs and things like we were, and where it's, helping parents work with kids. How do you recognize that your child needs support, those type of things. So we will absolutely be doing all of those things. And so we will have parent meetings and things like that, just like this, in different times. And it won't always be me talking, and it will be more interactive. But there were, like, I'm not kidding, pages and pages of questions. And so I want to try to get to everyone's questions and not keep you here all night, because there's a lot of questions. So, okay. Let's see. Grades and attendance matter. So for those of you who were there in the spring, you know that we had a do no harm policy, and so kids didn't take school very seriously. Well, first of all, do no harm policy is gone. So schools are required, this is actually a policy, to take attendance and monitor participation. Yes, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute for internet. So hang on, we're going to talk about that. Monitor participation through distance learning. We actually have to keep track of their attendance and their engagement. So it's not just did they show up, but did they participate and were they engaged? So there's actually more than just a check, they showed up, okay? And so, and I'm going to talk about how long. So just so you know, because remember I said our goal is to get back to school. That is our goal. So I'm going to talk, and when I'm talking about grades, I'm going to talk about the timeline here. Okay. There is also a rule that was not there before, but there is. So in distance learning, there will be a minimum daily instruction that must be met, and it's a combination of teacher instruction and then what they call time value of work assigned. For a junior high, it's 4 hours. So students must have a minimum of 4 hours of instruction. And whether that's 4 hours of live, like on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or actual work assigned, so they have a project and it can be a team project where they're working with another person virtually, not in person, but virtually, or it could be through coaching or different things, but 4 hours of a combination of instruction and the project they're working on daily. So that was not a requirement before. So remember, we only had 2 days a week where we actually did things, and it was like certain classes on certain days, and that was it. And it was really more just to stay connected with kids, because we really were concerned about the fact that campuses just got shut down and we couldn't really do much. So I want to really stress, teachers will be teaching. Students are not teaching themselves. That is really very important. I want people to really understand that. Parents are not expected to be teachers. I know that happened a lot in the spring. Only support like you would in a traditional school day, okay? We're not handing this over. Your kids are not being homeschooled by you. Okay, teachers are going to be teaching and they're going to be offering support. We will do things still like homework club, after school tutoring. It'll be virtual, but we'll still do those things. So we'll still have those options for kids. It'll just not be in person. And so we can still offer those extra supports and things like that. The city of La Palma, I met with them today. And so the grant that we have with them, they used to offer an after school program. So they're going to try to work with us to do some things through the city of La Palma and things like that. So we are already trying to build in those supports and things for our kids because we know how important it is. So I want you to know it was, listen, our teachers did an amazing job. And I will tell you, our administration sat in on the classes that our teachers were doing. And our teachers were actually instructing, and it was far above and beyond what a lot of other schools were doing. But it was limited in the amount of time that we had, and it was limited in that we gave the instruction to our teachers and everyone and said, listen, take it easy on the kids. This is just crazy for them. So we kept it really low key because it was just about, listen, we just have to learn this system. So don't try to make the workload be typical. Let's keep the workload low and let's just do this. And so that was the focus. Now it's okay. We're going to be able to do this because we understand this, and we're going to be able to move forward. And that's where we are now. That's what we're doing. So grades matter. So when we talk about things, right, last year, there was a waiver of graduation requirements. That's not going to happen this year. Okay, there's not a there's no hold harmless policy. So last year it was, okay, well, if you don't do anything, that's okay. We just give you a grade. No, we're not just giving away grades. Students have to earn their grades. That's very important. Please let kids know that grades absolutely do matter. And so it's really important. We will, of course, have all those supports and accommodations we're talking about, but grading will be done. And so parents will be informed about grading. Now you actually have a little bit more information than you would even in a traditional classroom, because ARIES will still be updated regularly. So you'll still get all of the information on ARIES, but you will also have your own Parent Schoology account. Your Parent Schoology account means you can log into Schoology and you can see absolutely everything your child sees. 100% of it. So whereas ARIES was a grade book that you could see after your child forgot to turn something in and you know, oh, well, you missed that. Well, now you can see this is going to be due and you haven't turned it in yet, and you have to do it by tomorrow, you can actually say, make sure you get that done by tomorrow. So you can actually see that. When they say, I don't understand, the teacher didn't give me any instructions, you can actually go, well, but the instructions are right there. I can see them. And so you can actually do that. You can actually watch the recordings. Your child can pull up on their account the recording of the lesson the teacher did, and you can watch the lesson together with them and say, oh, I see what the teacher's saying. So you can actually do that if you want. Now, remember, you don't have to do all of that, but you can. So it's nice that you have those options if you want them. So I want you to know, remember, we're not saying you have to do homework with your child. You don't have to take school. You already graduated. Congratulations to you. You already earned your grades. Parents, you already went through school. You do not need to go through school again. That's okay. But I know that I have kids, and I know that for me, when they would come to me and ask for help, and I'd be like, well, what did the teacher say? I don't know. Okay, can you tell me, where's your notes? I don't have any notes. And I would be like, oh, come on, there's got to be something more. So you're going to have something more. And I love my sons. And so I'm just going to tell you, my son would always tell me, no, the teacher never said that. But my son was a little liar. And he just didn't do his work. And he's the smartest kid around. He's an adult now. I shouldn't say kid. He's an adult. He failed like all of his classes, but he's super duper smart. He just never did his work. So it's crazy. I see a question. Is there protection for our teachers from parents recording them and placing them on social media? The protection is that it is illegal. I can't stop it from happening, but we can prosecute after it's done. So please don't do that, because you cannot do that. Okay, because the reason why you can't do that is because this is a protected classroom. It's like if you would walk inside a classroom and start recording, that is a protected class of people, the students are, and so it's no different than that. So you cannot do that. If you have an issue with a teacher, then you need to let administration know. Because like I said, administration actually will sit in on those classes. When we say sit in, we actually log in and watch the students and the teachers, and we can see everything that they're doing. So I sat in on classes, and there were a couple of times when I could see kids would start kind of chatting and the teacher's teaching, and I'd go, hello, you need to pay attention. And so I could call them out. Or there were a couple of times where I could see the teacher was struggling, and I'd say, okay, you're clicking on the wrong button. You need to click on this button. And so I could help out from there. And other times I could just sit back and I could just watch. And so just so you know, I could give kudos. And sometimes I participated in some of the games the kids played, and it was super fun because I won. And so, I like to show the kids that, I can still kick their booties. And so it's, one of those things. So I just want you to know that we have that. I think I answered those questions. So let's see here. Okay. This is a big one. A lot of questions about this. IEPs. So IEPs, lots of questions about IEPs came in. So let me just start by telling you, number one, IEP meetings absolutely will still take place. I know that if you're coming to us from elementary school and you had an IEP, that not all of the elementary schools held IEPs at the end of the year. Some of them just said, oh, well, sorry, we can't get this done. That was not the case in our district. We held IEP meetings and met deadlines. The meetings will be virtual. Because we can't have people on campus for the most part. So they will be virtual. So we will still absolutely hold IEP meetings, and we now will catch up, and 504s as well. Yes, we absolutely, 504s, IEPs. We will catch up all of the people who are behind, we now will do catch up from where the elementary school left behind. So we will play catch up for all of those meetings. So just so you know, so that's number one. We will absolutely hold those meetings. Number two, we also know assessments need to be done. So we have a list of kids that, how do we catch up was the question. So we have a list of kids whose IEPs are out of compliance, and we get that actually through our SELPA, which is the group that oversees all of our uh, uh, special ed in our area. And so we see they're out of compliance, and then we have case carriers in special ed. They are responsible for scheduling a meeting, and then they will send out an invitation through email, inviting all the people that need to be at that meeting to participate in that meeting, and it will be all online. And we did multiple of those meetings last year. They are very efficient and they work well, and we can absolutely make sure that we're meeting students' goals and accommodations according to their plans. Just so you know, we also do things like we make sure that all of our students with IEPs have not only a case carrier, oh, Karina, I will answer that. But we also have instructional aides that are assigned to them that follow up with them to make sure that all of their accommodations are being met, and we're following up on their IEP goals. If they are receiving services like speech or counseling, and even I spoke with our district program specialists and talked about occupational therapy, like OT, those type of things. Those all are needing to happen and will be scheduled. The goal is always to not pull them out of instructional time. So we're hoping to be able to try to schedule those on Tuesdays and Thursdays as much as possible so they don't miss classes. It may not always happen. But that is still the goal, is to not schedule it during their school time. So those things will happen. So I just wanted people to know that. I know that at the end of the year, I worked with a special ed classroom, and I know that we talked to every single one of the kids in that class every single day and their parents every week. So that way we made sure that they didn't get behind and we met all of their goals and did that. Karina, let me just answer your question really quick. She wanted to know if we can expect improvements on air filters as well as soap dispensers when we get back to school. Yes, when we are actually back on campus, the district will be doing disinfecting regularly. Literally the bathrooms every 30 minutes to an hour will be disinfected. There will be hand sanitizers added. There will be air filters will be updated on a regular basis. All kinds of things are going to be done. And so when we are able to come back on campus, I will do another meeting talking about just all of the safety measures that are put in place, because that will be a meeting within itself. So just so you know, there will be a ton. School supplies, we always tell people don't go crazy on school supplies, because the teachers will let you know school supplies. We did in the registration link, there is a list of suggested school supplies for at home, and it's just the basics, you know, a binder, paper, notepad, pens, pencils, colored pencils, those type of things. But don't go crazy, because especially right now, a lot of we're encouraging, even when we get back onto campus, to do as little things that you have to touch as possible, and so that would be shared. So we are encouraging as much as we can to submit things electronically. So the computer and the mouse, those type of things are probably number one right now. So let's talk a little bit about band, choir, art, STEAM, those type of programs, and PE. So yearbook, esports. Let's talk about those things because I know you all have questions. So our VAPA, so Visual and Performing Arts teachers, have been meeting all summer long. And they have been planning for how they are going to present their classes. And the reason they've been meeting all summer long is we kind of knew that there was a chance that we would be at least partially online. And so we needed to have a plan for, okay, if we end up online, or if we end up hybrid, how are we going to support students in these performance programs? What are we going to do? So we actually have been doing things like purchasing specific software, purchasing like in band, purchasing more band instruments, so that way no one shares a single instrument, doing things like that. So that way we're ready for kids to be able to actually learn and perform and do things, even in a virtual environment. So for example, we purchased a program for band called Smart Music, and that actually allows them to play along at home with their instrument, and then they record, and then they send in their recording of them playing, and it actually listens to their recording and critiques. And so they have a virtual tutor and their teacher. And then we've been looking at software to where they can actually sing together, but from at home, and then it comes together for choir and things like that. Art, they've purchased kits for home, for art kits. So they will have a kit of things, so that way the teacher can demonstrate and the kids will have the supplies that they need to be able to do art from home. STEAM has been doing the same thing. So they have that. Culinary is doing the same thing and building virtual labs and things like that, and things that the kids can actually do what they need. PE, actually, I just spoke with our PE department chair today, and one of the things she would like to do is build in a PE kit for kids, and we're looking at having that ready to go when we pass out textbooks, so kids can actually have a PE kit that would have like a jump rope, a hacky sack, those type of things in it. And so the teachers themselves will actually teach and demonstrate with videos how to do specific things, and then kids can do it at home, and then they can record and show themselves, and it goes to the teacher. It doesn't go to other students, so they don't have to be embarrassed, and actually do physical fitness at home and learn how to do these techniques and things. So they will actually be physically doing things. And we're even talking about, we'll offer, if somebody wants to buy PE clothes, even though we don't have them, they can buy PE clothes so they can change into PE clothes during PE if they want. And so they can really be ready, just like if they were going to the gym. And so we'll teach them about fitness, and we'll teach them about, monitoring their heart rate and being healthy, and then also the activities that go with that. So they will basically be doing their home activities. Our yearbook teacher is working with other yearbook teachers, and they're looking at how do they create a yearbook even though we're doing things virtually. Our ASB is still going to do activities, so expect there will still be spirit days, will still be assemblies, but they will be different. Our TV studio production will still be doing announcements, so we will still have announcements every day, and they will be live and then posted to YouTube. So we will still do the Pledge of Allegiance every single morning, and then followed by school announcements for all the things and activities and important messages that are going on. And then it'll go live, go to our YouTube channel. So if you missed announcements, because we'll do them at 8:10, so gosh forbid somebody gets up a little bit late, they can watch them later. So those will be there for everyone. So this is one of the things I want to talk about: no sports or in-person after-school programs first quarter. Now, why do I say first quarter? Okay, first quarter is because our district has said they will not move from distance learning in the middle of a grading period, and grading periods are a quarter long. Okay, so that's 9 weeks. Okay, so 9 weeks for sure we will be on distance learning. If something changes with our system, with everything else, and the governor says, okay, this is lifted, you can now go back partially or something like that, then we could switch to hybrid at the end of 9 weeks or that kind of thing. So figure 9 weeks for sure of distance learning. So that is one of the things you can probably figure is we have 9 weeks of distance learning. You can pretty much count on that. There's always, you know, an opportunity for things to change, but you can pretty much count on 9 weeks of distance learning, and then we will keep you updated if things change. So just plan on the first 9 weeks are most likely distance learning. Okay, so 9 weeks online. After that, it could change. Remember, the goal is always, the goal is always to come back. Now, Eric just asked, will there still be distance learning options, or will the whole school change at once? So more than likely, because what will happen is we will get off the watch list, but we will still be too high to come back full time. So that means we will then probably likely come back to a hybrid schedule. So what does that mean if you want to stay where you're like, I still don't feel like I can have my child on campus yet. I still don't feel comfortable. That's okay. We will work with you. What that would mean is that 1 day a week, so the hybrid schedule was that students come to school on either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on their last name, and the rest of the time is online, and there's a whole schedule for that. And we, like I said, if we switch to that, we will go over that in detail. So I'm not going to go over that in detail today because we're not doing that right now. So I just want you to know that. But we will, if that's the case, we will just simply say, you don't come in on your 1 day, you just do the online option portion of it, and we'll work with you. So I want you to know, if we switch to hybrid and you don't feel comfortable coming on campus, we will absolutely work with you. So if sports can be offered the last 2 quarters, if we go back, that is the goal. That is absolutely the goal. The goal is to come back and to be able to do things like that. There will likely still be some safety measures in place, and so some things may still happen. It may be like, instead of doing basketball in the gym because that's such a closed off space, we do basketball on the outside courts. It might need that. That may happen, but that is the goal. So our goal is to be able to give kids the best opportunities we can. We're trying to work with everything that we can here. Okay, so I keep hearing lots and lots of questions about how do I get technology and things like that. So let's talk about that. Okay, classes, textbooks, and technology. So, okay, class schedules. Everyone wants to know, how am I getting my class schedules? Class schedules will be emailed after registration is completed. So all of your friends who haven't completed registration, you're holding us up, okay? Our goal is to send them out the week of August 3rd. And that is the goal. They will come to you electronically. So we're counting on that everybody's going to have them done. That's the goal. We're counting on everyone's going to be registered, and we're going to be able to send them out to you electronically August 3rd, that week. So hopefully on the 3rd, but that week. So figure the week of August 3rd, you're going to get your class schedule. So woohoo, coming up, classes are coming. You will get your schedule. Okay, textbooks is another question I got. You do not have to buy textbooks. Most you don't have to buy textbooks at our school. We always give you textbooks, just so you know. Most textbooks can be accessed digitally, but we will also arrange for distribution days after school starts. So not before school for the textbooks. It's around the 3rd week of school. So after students already have their schedule, they're already in their classes. The first couple weeks of classes, remember I said our first job, we tell the teachers to get to know their students. So the first couple weeks, the job is to make sure kids understand how to use Schoology and how to use their Gmail, how to turn in assignments, how to do. So the first couple weeks is how to use the software, how to do all of that, and then it's get to know each other, develop some personal relationships, and then we'll get some started on some curriculum. So please know, if you go, hey, the first week or two, you're not really doing any schoolwork, what's going on? You promised me we weren't getting behind. Remember, the first couple weeks, that's exactly what we're doing, is making sure that we get to know your kids and do all of that. So trust me, we do that normally anyways. Okay, that's normal. So don't think we're going soft. We're not. That's intentional. We need to make those connections because kids don't work for people they don't like, and so we need to make sure they get to know us and feel safe with us, so they'll work with us. That's really important. Okay, now technology. This is a big one. Okay, if you need to check out technology, there will be an email that's coming out. So technology, the reason why I haven't been able to do much with technology for people who say, I need to check out this, I need to check that out, is because the technology checkout is actually not through me or us as a school. It's actually a district thing, because what they're doing is they're shifting equipment as needed for who needs it at which site. So it's like a district thing. So what they're saying is they're going to be sending out a message. So they did one for incoming 7th graders for the 1 million project. And so the first email that came out, see, I didn't do the link, just so you know, and the link didn't work in the first email we sent out. I know, it was a terrible link. Again, that was not me. And so then I contacted the district and said, your link is not working. They said, we fixed it. So then I said, okay. So I sent out a message saying the link should be working now. So then, just so you know, I checked the link myself and I went, okay, yeah, the link is working, but instead of just working, it was a not secure link. So then you had to know that you have to, when you clicked on it, it said, this page is not safe. And you had to go and say, oh, advanced, go anyway, and do all this other stuff, which is crazy. People don't know to do that. So then I, in my update, sent a third thing where I went to my whole the link thing myself, and I put my own link. That link worked and people signed up because we had over 100 people sign up. So I apologize that the links from the district were all wonky. So just so you know, it's okay if you miss the 1 million link, because you're going to get another message from the district. And if the link doesn't work, I will send out a new link and fix it, just so you know. You're going to get another message from the district telling you, and it's for all grade levels, it's going to tell you how to do it. If you need technology, that includes Wi-Fi. So I know several of you asked questions about, okay, my Wi-Fi doesn't work. That includes Wi-Fi. You can check out a hotspot. Now, again, we're limited on things, but, and just so you know, if you have multiple kids in your family, they'll say, check out one hotspot, and you can do 2 Chromebooks, but one hotspot. You don't need a hotspot for each student. You just need one hotspot, and then you can hook up multiple devices to that hotspot. So that's totally reasonable. So that should be coming out in the next day or two. According to them, it's coming out in the next couple of days. So check your email for that. Now, I want to make sure everyone knows this. It's going to the email that is considered the primary email on the account. Now, how do you know what the primary email is? Okay, the primary email is the email when you set up Aries, is the first email that is listed under your son or daughter's profile. Okay, that's the primary email. That's the one it's going to. So that means if mom isn't the primary email, mom's not getting the message, dad is. And if dad doesn't check his email, he's not telling you and you're not getting it, or vice versa. So just so you know, it goes to the primary email. So when you log into the Aries Parent Portal, look at your child's profile and see whose email shows under your child's name first. That's the one it's going to. So it doesn't matter who's on the contacts, who shows up under the profile, that's who's getting the email when the district sends it out. So just so you know, if you're not getting the emails and we're saying the emails went out and you're not getting them, check your spam folder. Quite often the emails from the district or from myself go to spam because we're using a service to send out mass emails, and a lot of times your email provider considers them junk. And so they go to your junk or spam folder. So just so you know, you'd want to go to there and then mark us as safe and put us at contact, and then that should help a lot. Okay, once you sign up, then they will send you a message saying this is when you pick up your Chromebook, or this is when you pick up your Wi-Fi device. So I don't know when those are because they haven't told me. So I would love to say I know, but I do know their plan, according to what they said today in my meeting, is to get you your devices before August 12th. That is their plan. So in the next couple of weeks, they should be having distributions and they should be getting those to you. So that is their plan. So I just want you to know. Yeah, so promotions folder. See, yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could say that, you know, our emails go right to your inbox. Unfortunately, they don't. So look for them. I will tell you that all of the messages that are sent out from the school, we try to put a copy of those on our website. You can also log into your Aries parent portal and look in communications and then go to your feed, and they're all on there. So it's just like when you go to Facebook and then you're in your feed. The process for picking up the kits, it will be when we distribute textbooks, we will distribute the kits then. So just so you know, so we will let you know for that. But yeah, so the Aries portal on your phone has not worked for some time. I would delete the app and reinstall it because they did an update that works. And so I would delete the app on your phone and try again. So just so you know. The Aries parent portal will indicate if you completed phase 1, because if you completed phase 1, you will not have the yellow bar on the top that says that you need to complete phase 1. And it said, because it won't say phase 1, it will say you need to complete the data confirmation, and it'll be a yellow bar. If you don't see that yellow bar, then you did that. So no, you only need to check out a Chromebook if you don't have a device yourself. So I will say though, I definitely don't want you to try to have 3 kids in your house all trying to use the same device at the same time, because that's impossible. So don't try to do that. And that was one of the mistakes people made in the spring, was they're like, well, yeah, we have a computer in the house, but we have 5 kids. So that's kind of a problem. A computer and 5 kids doesn't work. And so just so you know, the link I sent out for phase 2, if you did the stuff on there, you are done. You are absolutely done. So you are good. And so that's why if you just complete those steps, you are absolutely good to go. So you went through and you completed all of it, you did the quiz, you're good. You are good to go. And that's why I did the quiz at the end, because that's how you knew you were completed. So if you went through each of the steps and you completed them and you did the quiz, you have everything done. You are awesome sauce. So thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so one more, because it's already 7:30, so we've already been an hour, and I have been talking at you like crazy. So I appreciate you listening, and I'm sorry, I try not to talk at you. I want to talk a little bit about staying connected. And what to do there. So you ready? Yeah, so phase 2 has the quiz. Phase 1 does not. Phase 2 has the quiz. Schedules will go out the week of August 3rd. Website currently down? I don't know that the website is currently down. I have not tried. So it could be, but I don't know. Okay, so I want you to know, during distance learning, how do you do these things? How do you reach your teachers? You will be able to email them through Schoology, Aries, or the school website. So you have 3 ways to access your teachers at all times. Okay, they will also likely have office hours, and so so if you only see communications for Aries and Aries for your student at Kennedy, then it's yours. You haven't added your child for Walker to your Aries count. Sylvia, will you talk to Melissa about how to do that? Okay, so you have 3 ways to do that, and they will likely also have office hours and can be live during that time. So for sure, you can reach them those 3 ways. Counselors. People always want to know, how do I reach my counselors? You can email them through Schoology Aries or the school website, and then we will also be putting up a place for you to be able to request an appointment through the school website. So that will be coming up. So just so you know, same thing with administration, the same way you reach your counselors, the same way through administration, and then the main office. So guess what? Even though we're distance learning, I want you to know that we will have someone answering the phone during school hours. This is really, really important because I don't think it's fair to parents to go, well, we're not on campus, so no one's going to be there to answer your questions. So we absolutely will have someone there during school hours from 8 to 4 answering questions. So definitely you can email also through Schoology Aries or the school website. We will also have a place for you to request appointments through the website as well, because as much as we'll have someone there, we don't want people just coming to the office whenever because of safety and social distancing and all of the other stuff. So we'll have a place for you to request appointments should you need to come in. We will also have ways to help with technology. So I'm going to set up a tech support team, and we will actually be able to do what's called a remote desktop, to where if you're having trouble with something on your technology in some way, we can actually have you give us remote access to your computer, so we can actually take over your screen and see what you're seeing and do that just like they would, you know, if we were you know, tech support at who are those guys at what is it, Best Buy or whatever, Geek Squad. So we can be like the Geek Squad, and we can, you know, do that for you. So we'll have our own little Walker Geek Squad for you to help you or your child, just so you know. So so I just wanted to let you know that is something that we are going to do, because I know what it's like to be stuck. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, you ready for, we're getting to what's next? Are we? We're ready for the end, because I was trying to keep this in an hour, but we didn't quite get there. Okay, so what do you need to do? Follow us on social media. We try to post on social media during the school year, every couple of days, if not daily. We try to post things when kids are on campus. We try to put pictures up every single day of kids. You never know when you're going to see your child on there. So we absolutely did do that, and we'll still do that during distance learning. We will post pictures, we will do things, we will share information, we do reminders, invites, fun things, exciting things. So follow us on social media. So we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook, so you can find us. So just so you know, it's there. Check your email regularly. Once your kids' email is set up, we will email you and your student, so kids can start checking their emails soon. So we will make sure we do that. So just so you know. And then you'll notice it says sign up for a workshop. Oh my goodness, what workshops? What am I talking about? Okay, are you ready? So someone asked, are kids going to get help on this? Are parents going to get help on this? Yes, absolutely. I would never tell my 7th graders, incoming 7th graders, and my parents, good luck, figure this out on your own. Never, ever, 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 ever. So This weekend, I will be sending out invites to sign up for workshops on how to, and so they're not required, but they are optional. But if you want to do things like, hey, they're all virtual. These workshops are not on campus, they're virtual. And so kids, same things for kids, so virtual. And so they just sign up and it will be how to log on to Schoology. Once you're in Schoology, how do you submit an assignment? How do you send an email? How do you do this? So just the basics. Even though we're going to spend time doing that when school starts, I want kids to feel comfortable having a good base, and I want parents to feel comfortable having a good base. I really wanted people to know, okay, I've got this. I'm ready for this to start. So that way you can be like, all right, I know what I'm doing, and can build up on that. So I will offer multiple workshops. There'll be a description on what we're doing for each workshop. We will be teaming up with Lexington. Because the principal from Lexington and I are buddies. And so I said, sure, Lexington and Walker kids can all come and Lexington and Walker parents can all come. So we will be teaming up with them. And so, like I said, the workshops are just general information. So we'll be sending that information out this weekend. So just so you know, check your emails. Those will be coming out and you can sign up for them at any time. And they will just be some introductions. Once we get going, I know Miss Sylvia will be doing some Parent Leadership Academy where they will get into more detail for parents on things and have some trainings for parents throughout the year and do things like that. And so I just want you all to know we'll constantly be doing more trainings and more things, but I just want to give you a little foundation so you feel comfortable and ready. And then I know one of the things that we miss out on this year, normally we do a welcome to Walker where we give kids a tour of the campus before school starts. Darn it. We can't have kids have a tour. We will do our best to do a virtual tour for them. And then if we do get to do a hybrid schedule and get to switch to that, we will do some live tours for them when that comes up, if we can have kids come on campus. Yes, when we switch to kids coming on campus, they will need to wear masks. So I just want to give a little reminder. In that phase 2 registration link are the links to order masks and spirit wear. And so I definitely encourage you to purchase your masks and spirit wear. There are Walker masks and Walker spirit wear. I'm wearing my Walker Junior High t-shirt. And this was today because we had, our class of 20, picked up their promotion certificates today. And so there are class t-shirts. And so I want everyone to know we will still be doing virtual spirit days where we'll say, wear your spirit wear, and we will actually give kids spirit points. And they can actually earn things and prizes and different things. And it'll be access to certain events and different things with those points. So you definitely want your child to have that option, and then certainly show their pride. And so even though right now we're distance learning and they might not be wearing their masks to school, they can certainly wear it to the grocery store or to the park or wherever they're going and show off their Walker pride. So get your mask. The link is on our website. On our social media. It's also in the link for the registration phase 2. And look at that. One of our parents just posted the links right there in the chat. No, it is not required to buy anything. It is optional. So just so you know. So our kids know anyone can use the Walker mask. Anyone who wants to. So buy them for your friends. Buy them for your grandparents. Absolutely, give them out. They're great. They're cute too. So definitely do that. Okay, last chance to type in anything. If you're not sure you went through it, just go back to the link and check it, and you can see it for yourself. You don't even need to ask anyone. You can just check for yourself. It's really very simple. So don't panic. you guys are good. I will do a reminder. So if you lost the link, you can do it, but I can get the reminder and put it in here again, but we can always go back. Let's see, to this one. So I'll type it in here so you can see. There you go. So you can always go in and type that in, and you can find it yourself. So there you go. All right, last chance for questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So, oh yes, definitely join PTA. They do amazing, amazing, amazing things. So if you saw some of our posts today, you saw that they did an amazing thing, like for our 8th graders all got free ice cream today as they went through collection distribution. So amazing things for our kids. They absolutely do things like, oh, by the way, I'm going to ask them to pay for Zoom for the rest of the year so I can do more of these meetings. I know they will do things like that. Yes, there's a dress code for students, and yes, it is included in the registration link. Oh, when will students and parents get their access code? Students' access code got sent out by the district. It was that G Suite code that was sent out. It is their Schoology. It is all the same. And so Maria, put the link up one more time for the school face mask one more time. Someone missed it. So if you could do that. Yes, you can use it for your meetings too, of course. Because we have to do the large meetings because we have lots of people that come to these, which is awesome. And so it's like, this is going to get real expensive for me paying for this. So yeah, I definitely want my PTA. We will ask the district to resend the G Suite email again, so that way you can have that. But if you search your email, yes, look at that, Eric. Eric, you need to come teach this. Look at that. You are so fast. If you search your email for auhsd.us, it should come up unless you deleted it. Teachers, will they be teaching from their home or classroom? Good question. Teachers have the option. They can teach from their home or they can teach from their classroom. Parents don't have the account yesterday. Did your child try to get in, or did you try to get in, Christina? Your son. Okay, it may be that they haven't rolled it over just yet for the incoming 7th graders to Schoology. So he should have his email account, but he doesn't have the Schoology account just yet. So just hang in there because they were rolling those over because we haven't finished the schedules yet, and technically they have to have a schedule for Schoology because it is tied to their schedule in Aries. And since we haven't done their schedules, we're working on them, but we haven't published their schedules, they can't really get into Schoology yet. Does that make sense? If they are students going to get to choose if we want to go to school some days or just do it all online. Oh, okay, that's okay if you were late, no problem. So it's all online right now. Nobody has a choice. The governor said distance learning for everyone. So it's all online. If we switch to hybrid because the governor gives us that option to do so, and you don't want to be hybrid, we will work with families who want to stay online. We will work with those families about that. Immunization records email was written on the requirement paper. However, they didn't check it yet. Will they check later? She's actually just now, the health clerk officially doesn't start until next week. So she's just now now putting all of the immunization information in. So just so you know, she's still been on summer break, so she's going to get that in. You can try logging into Schoology today. If you're an 8th grader already, you should easily be able to log into Schoology. If you're an incoming 7th grader, I don't know if your account is active just yet because, like I said, schedules haven't been done yet. So they may not have you in just yet. But you have the login information. You just may not physically be able to get into Schoology yet. So you could try, but it may not work just yet. So just so you know. Good questions. Really, really good questions. And I'm seeing, yes, the links for the shirts and the face masks. Very nice. Yeah, you do not have to buy anything. They're all optional. They're just fun. And they do work for our Spirit Days. Just so you know, if you're a child, you know, really does not want a walker thing, or you just really can't afford something, we still give credit, like on our Spirit Days, if they wear red and black instead of a walker shirt, but they wear red and black, we give them credit for that too. We don't want kids to be left out. I'm hoping Kennedy will, you know, do things like this for you. They just might not be there yet. So yeah, PTA funds all kinds of things. PTA just really, especially if you have an 8th grader, they pay for lots of 8th grade events and everything. And I will tell you that throughout the year, they support our school hugely. We could not function without our PTA. So please join. And just so you know, there's tons of other benefits to you as well as a parent. If you're somebody who's doing some continuing education, they have continuing education scholarships just for PTA members. So you might want a scholarship to help pay for school, because I don't know about you, but I'm going back to school and so is Miss Asai, and we could use all the money we can get. So sign up for PTA and get a scholarship. That's really, really important. And your kids will qualify for scholarships from PTA if they are PTA members. So get to know that too. So there's a lot of things that you really, really want to do. So yes, you can join PTA online. She also put up the link there. That is online, how you do that. And that is also in the registration. The school lunch sign up is in the registration link, and it's school pay, and that's how you sign up for that. And if you are wanting to, and I encourage everyone to apply for the free lunch program, because a lot of us who did not qualify before, now with all this COVID stuff and being, you know, laid off or furloughed, a lot of us qualify. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie, it benefits our school to have kids on free and reduced lunch. So please, if you qualify, don't be shy, apply. Absolutely, it's definitely going to help us out. So I know people are very prideful and say, oh no, I don't really need it. No, I need it for the school. So I'm going to tell you right now, you need it. Yeah, so first quarter for sure, distance learning. Yes, for sure. I'm glad it was helpful. Thank you all for all of your questions. I hope I answered everyone's questions. So just so you know, everything is online. You know, there's nothing at the school right now because we're trying to do no cash for anything, just because we're trying not to spread germs. The school lunch application is online. Everything is online. So we're trying to make it really, really easy. To register for the lunch, if you are applying for a free lunch, you click on that link to do that. If you are setting up a lunch account, you do that through School Pay. And if you already have an account, then yes, you would need to register for an account the first time. But once you're registered, you only have to do that once. And it's good for all the way through high school. If you might already have an account if you're in one of our feeder elementaries, because it's the same one they use. So we just so love that everyone came tonight. I really, really appreciate you all. It makes me feel so much better to have parents who are involved and actually ask questions and want to know things. So yes, thank you. Yes, everyone stay very safe, and thank you all for answering questions for other people in the chat. I really couldn't do this alone. We are a family here. It matters. So definitely. It's going to be a great school year. Even if it's different, it's just going to be a different great school year. Um, Simon, I don't know if we have any extras because I think we sold out. But if you want to email Miss Anderson, she can put you on the list to see if she has any extras. It's Anderson_L@auhsd.us. Kids can wear any mask. Yes, any face covering at all. Let me get the link for school pay for you for lunch, because you want school pay, not free lunch, right? School pay is to pay the free lunch one. Mrs. Sai put that one up. It's this one. It's here. Let's see. Let me get that one. If both parents work, what do you mean if both parents work? Okay, I'll get the free lunch one. Hold on. Are you meaning what do you do with your child if there's the free lunch one? Okay. The verification code under areas for your student is private, so you're going to want to email vikings@auhsd.us, and we can send you your verification code. So yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Are you meaning childcare? A 4-day online school. You know, we did 3. And so I put school pay up there, and I put the Lexington does not have a 4-day online school. As a matter of fact, the principal from Lexington is on here. The whole district has the same thing that we have. All of the schools in the district, it might take a little bit to receive your answer for your lunch, just so you know. But Lexington has the exact same program that we have. So they're not any different. And the principal at Lexington and I are sharing this information. So I just want you to know that. It's 3 days, just like here. The entire district has the exact same schedule as we have. So it's 3 days a week online, synchronous. The other 2 days are flex days. They're asynchronous. And so kids will still be working. Teachers will still be connecting with them. It's just not a set schedule on those days. So absolutely, kids are still working every day on school. The kids are in school 5 days a week online. It's just not a set time frame on 2 of those days. All right. Okay. Look at that, Miss Maria. Miss Maria is our PTA president. I should have introduced her. Darn it. And she is sharing her information there for anyone who has questions. Yes, your daughter can absolutely log on to classes all by herself. Legally, kids can stay home as soon as they are 12, so that is legal. Absolutely, they can. And there may be some options for childcare that are coming out from some of our community partners through like the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. So if you are concerned about her staying home, you can certainly talk to Miss Sylvia Van White, and she can help you find some resources for that on those days. There are also some parents who are willing to help out and do some teaming up and sharing of resources and saying, okay, you take the kids on Monday, I'll take them on Tuesday, that kind of thing. So there's been anything. Right now, there hasn't been yet because we just got, we've been working on registration and things like that, and we just got switched to distance learning, but we would like to do some activities with them. So at the end of last year, we did some like family game nights and things like that, and so we will do some of those activities again. So yes, they will come. You do not get an email confirmation after phase 2. No, there's no email confirmation because a lot of phase 2 has optional things in it. And so we don't want people to feel like they are required to order things. And so that's why we don't have a email confirmation, because we don't want people to feel like they're required to order a t-shirt or required to join PTA. But we want everyone to look at all parts of that, and so make their choices on what they're going to do. The G Suite email was sent out on, I can tell you exactly because I got, not from the district, but I got a message from a parent who said, "What is this?" And I said, "Oh, they sent out the message. Why did they tell us?" So hang on, I will tell you because I can look at the date on the message. Monday. It went out on Monday. Let me see. I can pull it up because, let's see. Let's see. Hang on. I got to switch this really quick, and then I'll share it with you. Let me turn my Wi-Fi, and I took a picture of it. You're a bit concerned that on the sync days, kids will need to sit in front of a PC all day. It's a lot of screen time. Is opted out of some of the time. You know what? Unfortunately, it's not, because that is required by the state to have that time. The state said that we had to have that much time. It said 4 hours. I know that was crazy. We thought it was a lot too, which is why we put the breaks in between, and that's why we did Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because we just felt like it was too much to do every day. Some districts are doing that all day, every day, 5 days a week, and we just said that's too much. It's tough on their eyes, it's tough on their brain, you know, all of that. And so you know, we thought, oh, I don't want to do that to kids. And so that's why we didn't do that. Just so you know, we were very cognizant of kids' mental health and just their eyes and all of that. So that's why, there you go. So I'm going to just show you, this is what it looked like, the message. So it came from AUHSD reports is what it looked like, and it said this: student account information, Anaheim Union High School District, and it said see attached document for important information regarding your student's upcoming school year. And then it had in Spanish and it looks like Vietnamese. And then this is what the document looked like, and I just did this so that way you can't see the information on the student that the parent sent to me. And it says, hello, uses, you know, for this, and then it has the student number, student name, G Suite account, and see it has their ID at student AUHSD, their password, and then it says access to Gmail, yes. If you wish to opt in or out your student from Gmail, you may contact your school's registrar. So the reason why I asked if you want to opt in, if your child is only 11, it'll say no, because legally they can't automatically create an account for an 11-year-old. Parents have to opt in because we were required to be 12 to automatically be given an account by our district. That's just a law that they can't do, so parents have to opt in. So that's what it looks like. So that's what you should be looking for. It looked like this first with the attachment, and that's what the attachment said. So yeah, I took a screenshot of what the parent sent me. So hopefully that helps. How do you get the computer? Okay, so again, the district's going to send a message. It's going to look like that one with a link. and that's how you get it. It's supposed to come in the next couple of days. Just like they didn't send me the information on that they had sent out the account information, because I would have warned parents, hey, you're going to be getting a message. I would have told you, but they didn't tell me. So I couldn't warn you. So they didn't tell me. So what I would do is I would actually print it out and I'd put it in your child. Like I have a file for all of my kids, like with their school stuff. I would actually print it out and I'd put it in that file so you have it. And then I would save it for your child. So I'd print out that letter because that has their password and everything. Like I said, that's their same information from 7th grade all the way through their senior year. So I'd print it out and put it in their file so you have it to go when they go, I forgot my password. Well, guess what? Now you have it. So you have that information so you can look it up. Eventually they're going to memorize it, but until they do, you have it and you can always look it up and have that information. So I would print it out and I'd keep a copy. That's what I would do as a parent. I also actually keep, I have a Mac, and I link it to my iPhone. And so what I do is I actually keep in my notes. So I actually copy and paste it into my notes. So if I need to get something for my kids, so we can do that. I'm going to, just so you know, I'm going to ask the district to send that email out one more time to parents. So that way, hey, guess what? You should have already gotten this, but here you go. So I'm going to ask them to send it out. Students will receive agendas. Unfortunately, they will not be Walker agendas that we created, which sucks because we wanted to create our own. They will be district created agendas, so they're not as cool as ours. But yes, when we actually do get back on campus, students will all be given agendas. So yes, they will get them. We don't use AR reading at the high school, so at the junior high or high school, so no, there's not accelerated reader. We do have a book club that is run through our library, and the kids do a lot of reading through their English classes, and so you don't have to worry about reading by any means. They will read their little tails off. But no, we don't use accelerated reader at this level. It's not actually relevant at this level, so that's why we don't use it. Yeah, the grade level once you hit junior high actually isn't a true measure, so that's why we stopped using it. Reading was my jam. That's what I taught. So all right, I think we're good unless you have things. What book do we use for math? We use Carnegie Learning for Math. It's actually a consumable book, which means you can write in it and then you keep it. So it's your book forever and ever and ever. And we use a program called Mathia that is a companion to the book, and it's an online math program. So kids will have access to that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Mathia is really awesome. And so all kids will have access to that regardless of teacher, and so they'll have all of that information that will be coming out. So yeah, any more questions? I don't think we have any more kids on here. I think, because it might be past their bedtime, although I think kids are staying up until like midnight now and getting up at noon. I know, because when we did our lines, for kids coming through collection, nobody came at 8, but everybody came at noon. Thank you. Hey, Maria and Christine, who are really awesome, spent all day the last 2 days helping out and helping people park. And I'm sure their voices are not working because they talked to every single family that came through. So they were awesome. So thank you to that. Yeah, don't run me over. They could have gotten run over. If you missed the date to pick up PE clothes, yes, we will be sending out a link to be able to sign up for individual appointments. It will be in August. We won't do it again until August because technically the office is still closed. So in August, we will absolutely send out a link for that and have you on your appointment come in, get all of your stuff, and do that on your time. So don't worry, once the office opens, we will be doing that. So that message will come out because we have quite a few people who did not clean out their lockers, and we really don't want to touch the yucky stuff in kids' lockers that have been sitting there since last year. So yeah, it's pretty yucky. All right. Yeah, because someone said, well, why don't you just take everything out of the locker and put it in bags? And I said, I'm not touching that. No, thank you. Yes. All right. All right. It's after 8. You all need to rest. Go get your beauty sleep. Good night, all. Thank you so very, very much. All right. I'm kicking you all out. I'm going to end the meeting for everyone.